Hey everyone, it's Minusuma here. Today is 15th of June 2025 and we're going to look at the market recap and analysis this week. Starting with the fear greed index, we have the greed at the level of 60, slightly lower than the previous close and slightly lower than a month ago. Moving into the weak performance of the different sectors, we have the energy as the leading one this week with a 5.67%, the healthcare sector at 1%, utilities at 0.56%. On the negative area, we've got the financial ones at 2.28%, the industrials at 1.3%, and consumer defensive at 1.22%. Technology and real estate has been on the negative terrain this week, but barely not touch it at all. And these are the composition of the SP 500 companies, a bit of mixed across many of them with massive upsides on Oracle, Palantir and Tesla, and general falls on Apple, Visa and MasterCard. Moving into the market analysis and specifically at the relative performance of the different indexes, we can see that still the Euro Stoxx 50 is leading the upside and is the strongest index within this four comparison at 8.64%. Then it follows the Nasdaq at 3.43%. Then the SP 500 on the positive area already at 1.85%. And the Dow Jones at minus 0.46%. Worth mentioning that even though this year we have a fall of 16 and 18% in some of those American indexes, the market recovered and now we are approaching the positive area already or almost on the positive area. Starting with the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we have a double top activated. It completed the structure and then we are seeing a recovery in almost V-shape from the minimums registered on the 7th of April this year. Currently this week the 200 moving average was lost and we are trying to go through the first support area, which is the 41,863. Then we'll have the other minimum on the 23rd of May at a value of 41,000 and levels of all this upside. By matter of probabilities, we have already recovered from the 61.8%, so the price bounced above this area, this level. So by matter of probabilities, we'll be heading towards the all-time highs, which is at 45,054. Moving into the Russell 2000, we have a divergence here. That was a bearish structure. It was activated, it completed, and then we have big downside movement. I wasn't expecting the Russell 2000 to correct as high, but as usual, the first resistance area is the 61.8, which is at the 2,187.73, and the 200 moving average acts as a resistance on Friday. If we are able to overcome the previous maximum on the 11th or the first resistance on the 11th of June, and if we go above the 61.8, then by matter of probabilities we'll go to the all-time highs with permission of this previous resistance that passes on the 2,326. So the Russell 2000 currently weak. We can even from a chartism perspective project here a head and shoulder structure. I'm going to disable the magnet so we can actually see, and I'm probably going to remove this one. So we have the left shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder. I still feel that the right shoulder is very tight, so potentially we could be drawing something more like this. On a technical level, I will expect the right shoulder to be slightly bigger to be considered properly as a shape. But anyway, if we break through the 11th of June this year, then there is high chances that we'll go to all-time highs by the head and shoulders inverted, if you consider the shape, plus the Fibonacci wave retracement, because we will go above the 61.8. So We don't have any of those strategies activated at the moment, but it could be. On the SP 500, it's a different situation. Exactly the same day, 7th of April, we have the minimum. We overcame the 61.8. We are now going towards the all-time highs, which is 6,147. On Friday, we have a correction, and then the first area of support will be the 200 moving average that passes on the 5,799 area. Nasdaq, we have exactly the same situation as the S&P 500, but slightly stronger, and we almost touched the all-time highs at the 22,222, and the first support area is the 20,549. Also, the close of this gap, which was on the 9th of May, and the levels of all this upside movement. Moving into stocks, let's gonna start with Apple. So Apple is clearly not as strong as it used to be. We are currently way weaker than the indexes. We have many resistance along the way. So we have all of those ones marked here. And also we have the 200 moving average. So the first or the minimal thing I need to request Apple is to break through all those resistance and the 200 moving average. And then from a technical standpoint, I would like to see a structure. At the moment, it's not clear. This gap needs to be closed. Otherwise, the correction could continue. Amazon, we have a beautiful gap breaking through the 200 moving average. Usually that leads into continuation of the upside movement in the future. First area of support on the 204, and then levels of this upside like 197, 165, and 161. Google, another structure probably not very well seen, which is left shoulder, double head or almost head, and then right shoulder. So if we go above the day 10th of June, we potentially can revisit the all-time highs. And why is that? Because we literally, the price just stopped at the 61 point area. That's where the Fibonacci retracement level was acting as a resistance. And if the price can break through that area, then will be a clear way to all-time highs. Meta extremely strong. We had a double bottom activated here. It was already achieved the objective. So we measure, we project, and we can see that the objective was achieved this week on the 11th of June. And now by matter of probabilities, we have the all the way to go to all-time highs. Also, we have levels of support, which is the Fibonacci retracement here and the 200 moving average in the 6,614 area. Microsoft, the strongest one among the group of the 7 magnificent ones. We have a break through the 200 moving average with a beautiful gap. Then we have the price continuation. The price is already on oversold area. I'm not saying that the price cannot continue, but there is, chances that if you're not in, a correction to the first support area is about, just gonna grab it. So if we measure from the top to the 200 moving average, we can see a correction of minus 12%. And even though the structure would not change if that ever happened, simply because this is the first support area, then the 255, and then the minimum is registered at 344. Definitely Microsoft in a very, very strong shape. Nvidia, we have a downtrend channel that I can draw here so you can see. We have this one and we have this line. We're going to make a thicker one as well. So if we follow by matter of probabilities, we still have the objective activated and it has not been reached. So we need to measure the parallel and then project from the breakout point. So it's going to be about 155, which equals to almost all-time highs. First area of support 126, 95, and 86.61. Those are the different levels of support, 200 moving average and these two. And then by matter of probabilities, we will have high chances to go to all-time highs. But again, This is about probabilities. I don't discard that the price before it goes to all-time highs. It just simply continues slightly lower down, going towards the 200 moving average. Take a bit of breath because obviously this upside movement has gone up very vertically. We're talking about specifically about 64%, and things obviously doesn't go up vertical. There is normal corrections and healthy corrections in between. Moving into Tesla, so Tesla has activated here a triangle that was already achieved the objective. So if we draw this one and then we project, we can see that the objective was achieved, which was on the 367 area. Now we have a massive negative candle here, and then the price bounced back. And on Friday, we closed above the 200 moving average. The first area of resistance is the 367, and then Fibonacci retracement that passes on the 386. If we are able on Tesla stock to go beyond the 386, then all the way will be towards the all-time highs at 491. Also worth mentioning that if you zoom even further, you can even project a parallel from here, and then you can even project another one from here. So that's the long-term basically structure at the moment on Tesla. Moving into crypto, let's gonna go with Bitcoin first. Bitcoin is currently on correction. It did all-time highs about 2 weeks ago at 100,011,970, and we are currently on correction. This week tried to aim and to break through the all-time highs. It couldn't, and now the first area of support is around the 100,000 area, which is also a round number and psychological area, and then the 200 moving average passes on the 96,000 area. Moving into Ethereum, Ethereum is forming a range. So if it breaks the range through the upper side and especially above the 2,877, then we'll have another big upside movement. We can even draw here as a breakout point, connecting those. So we have a false breakout here, but then the good breakout was done on the 26th of April. Then we have a consolidation period, massive movement up. And at the moment, we currently are on a weaker position than Bitcoin. So if you ask what currency should I have from cryptocurrency, when you check whether is the strongest one, so Ethereum is clearly not the strongest one, while Bitcoin is. Right, that's about the market recap this week. I hope you like, you subscribe, and I see you until next time. Bye bye.